If you have spent any time researching business credit online, you have already absorbed at least 3 or 4 myths that are actively working against you right now without you even realizing it. The business credit space is full of confident-sounding claims that get repeated so often they start to feel like established fact, when in reality, many of them are either outdated, oversimplified, or simply wrong. And the cost of believing even one of these myths is not small. It can mean applying to the wrong vendor at the wrong time, using the wrong identifier on an application, or waiting for a milestone that was never actually required in the first place. I see these myths repeated constantly in Facebook groups, YouTube comment sections, and even from people positioning themselves as experts who are simply repeating something they once heard without ever verifying it against how the system actually works. Today, in this video, I am going to walk through the 7 biggest myths about business credit that I encounter most often from business owners who come to me confused about why their results do not match what they were told to expect. Some of these myths come from outdated information that used to be true years ago but no longer applies. Some come from personal credit habits that simply do not transfer to the business credit system. And some come from well-meaning but incomplete advice that leaves out a critical detail that changes everything about how the strategy should actually be executed. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which of these myths you may have been operating under and exactly what the truth is instead, so you can stop wasting applications and start building toward Tier 4 with accurate information instead of recycled assumptions that have been circulating online for years without anyone fact-checking them. Myth number 1. You need good personal credit to build business credit. This is false. Business credit is tracked under your EIN through Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, and Equifax Business, completely separate from the personal bureaus that track your Social Security number. A business owner with damaged personal credit can build an excellent PAYDEX score from 0 because the commercial bureaus never look at personal credit history when evaluating a properly submitted business application. I have worked with business owners coming out of bankruptcy who built PAYDEX 80 within 10 months, simply because their personal credit history was never part of the equation in the first place. Myth number 2. You need to be in business for years before anyone will extend credit. This is also false for the foundational tiers. Tier 1 vendors like Uline and Quill are specifically designed to approve businesses with 0 credit history and minimal time in business, precisely because they exist to give new businesses their first trade line. Time in business only becomes a meaningful factor once you reach Tier 3 and Tier 4, where 12 months is the typical minimum most issuers want to see. A business that is 1 week old can have an approved Tier 1 account by week 2, with no track record required at all beyond a valid EIN and formation documents. Myth number 3. A DUNS number costs money to get. This myth alone has cost business owners hundreds of dollars they did not need to spend. The standard DUNS registration at dnb.com is completely free. It simply takes up to 30 business days to process. Paid expedited options exist, but they are optional conveniences, not a requirement to participate in the system at all. Myth number 4. Your business credit score updates instantly after every payment. In reality, vendors report payment data to the bureaus on their own monthly cycles, not the moment you pay. This is exactly why business owners often experience weeks of apparent silence after their first few payments, when in fact the system is working correctly behind the scenes, simply waiting on each vendor's individual reporting schedule to D&B before anything becomes visible on a NAB dashboard. Myth number 5. More credit applications submitted faster means faster building. This is one of the most damaging myths in the entire space, because it actively produces the opposite of the result people are chasing. Submitting multiple vendor applications in the same short window triggers application clustering, which the bureau algorithm reads as a sign of financial distress rather than strategic building. That flag can suppress approval rates for 60 to 90 days, which means the business owner trying to move faster by applying to everything at once ends up moving significantly slower than someone who paced their applications correctly from the start at 1 per week without exception. Myth number 6. Any business credit card counts as building business credit. This is not accurate, and it trips up more business owners than almost any other myth on this list. Many cards marketed towards small businesses still require a personal guarantee and still report to personal credit bureaus rather than commercial ones, especially cards issued by major banks aimed at sole proprietors rather than established LLCs looking to build a separate commercial identity. Building a genuine commercial credit profile requires confirming that the specific account reports to DNB, Experian Business, or Equifax Business under your EIN, not simply that the word business appears somewhere in the card's name or marketing copy. Myth number 7. Once you reach a high PAYDEX score, you do not need to keep monitoring it. This myth has cost business owners months of progress they thought was permanent and secure once achieved. A single late payment can drop a PAYDEX score from the high 80s down into the low 70s in a single reporting cycle, and third-party data aggregators can silently introduce NAP inconsistencies into your bureau profile without notification or warning of any kind whatsoever. PAYDEX is not a number you build once and forget. It requires ongoing, weekly attention for as long as your business intends to use commercial credit at any tier of the system. Now that you know the truth behind these 7 myths, here is what actually matters as you move forward in your own building journey starting today, regardless of where you currently stand. Personal credit does not gate your business credit building, so stop waiting for a personal credit score milestone that has nothing to do with your commercial profile whatsoever. Time in business matters far less at the foundational tiers than most people assume, so start building today rather than waiting for an arbitrary number of months to pass first before you even begin the process. Your DUNS number is free, so register it immediately rather than paying for an expedited option you do not actually need to participate fully in the system from day one. Bureau reporting happens on monthly cycles, not instantly, so expect a normal period of apparent silence in the first 60 to 90 days rather than assuming something has gone wrong with your applications during that window. Pace your applications deliberately, 1 per week maximum, rather than rushing to apply everywhere at once out of impatience or a sense of urgency that the system does not reward. Verify that any card or account you open actually reports to the commercial bureaus under your EIN before counting it as a meaningful building block in your overall strategy going forward. And monitor your PAYDEX score every single week, indefinitely, because a strong score is a habit you maintain, not a finish line you cross once and walk away from permanently without ever checking again. Every one of these 7 corrections moves you closer to a clean, accurate understanding of how this system actually works, which is the single biggest advantage you can have over business owners who are still operating on outdated or incomplete information circulating online without anyone questioning it. Download my free business fundability checklist at fundabilityhq.com/free-checklist, which lays out the accurate 8-step foundation sequence in the exact order you need to follow it from day 1 onward. Hit that like button, subscribe for weekly business credit content, and drop a comment below telling me which of these 7 myths you believed before watching this video today. I read every comment and I will personally reply. I am Lindsey Shreeve from FundabilityHQ. Build business credit with no personal guarantee. See you in the next video.